What's up? Is there an echo? Someone let me know. We supposedly fixed the echo, but I don't think we did. What's up, Dingleberry? Echo? Somebody? Anybody? Let me know, because I got to blame Andy if there's still an echo. I hear an echo. No echo? Ooh, I like the no echo thing. I wonder why. I wonder why there's no echo. Must be because we fixed it. About stinking time. How's everyone doing anyways? Hey, how's everyone? How's the Dingleberry doing? Hey, Dingle, did you? Wait. Dingleberry McGee, did you donate $20? Seriously? Did you seriously, bro? Is that you? I see you're the latest follower, but there's a Dingle who donated $20. Is that you? Dude, thank you. That's freaking awesome. I owe you 25 push-ups. Like, the stream just started, and I'm already doing push-ups. Seriously, guy. Thank you. Thank you very much. That literally pays for 2 days. 2 days of our breakfast program. Yes, sir. 2 days. Awesome. You, sir, Dingleberry McGee. Awesome. Thanks for following me over here, buddy. You, sir, just made people your priority. Well, today we are going to talk about a subject that's kind of the crux of what I do. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, we every day try and step into this idea of making people our priority, and how do we find new and creative ways to kind of step into the way of people's lives, and to give them an opportunity to do new things, get over whatever stresses they've got, whatever challenges they face, whatever. And honestly, even to dig deeper into whatever joys they're experiencing. So, I'm going to be upfront and honest today. I'm going to use a couple of verses from Scripture. Really just to focus on not the,
oh my God, we're the
not
luckiest.
The Christian aspect. Dang it.
I am.
Dude.
I am.
Yes, I did say breakfast. So another question, Dingle, since you're so freaking amazing. Do you hear Choco Taco saying, I am? Do you hear it? Do you hear this sound?
Oh my God, we're the luckiest.
Do you hear him say we're the luckiest?
I am the
Awesome.
luckiest.
So we did fix everything, because last week we couldn't hear anything. So, Dingle, thank you very much. I'll make sure once we get a few more folks here, I give you your dono cam, and heaven for fancy, I got to give you 50 push-ups. 50 freaking push-ups. Can you do 50 push-ups? Get down and give me 50. Famous last words. But yeah, so I'm going to use some scripture really to highlight kind of the social kind of necessity of what I'm talking about. Not necessarily the Christian nature of it. That's not what I'm using it for. I couldn't articulate it better. So this is where I went, just because this is what I know. So we'll get to that a little bit later on. But the idea today is really just to ask us the question, where do we put our time and our effort? Thank you, Andy. Buddy, I appreciate it. And our good buddy here, Dingleberry, has made a couple of amazing donations so far this afternoon. And even the widgets are working perfectly. So thank you very much for all your help there, Andy. I appreciate all you did for me last week. A lot. Because I couldn't have done it by myself. But yeah, the goal is really just to, I want us all to kind of sit back and think about, when I do this thing, whatever that thing is, am I doing it because I'm trying to make something easier for me? Or am I doing this because I'm trying to make something easier for you? I mean, there's a time and a place for both, but I'm talking more of a general term. And I want to look a little bit at history too. So, and this topic comes out of a series of conversations that I've had over the past probably week and a half, where I've tried to kind of work this out with a few different people. The idea of what motivates us and how society has become more and more frustrated, and how we've mental health has become a growing issue. And part of it is recognition of the fact that we now recognize certain things as certain disorders that we didn't understand before. But a lot of it also centers around a shift culturally that we've kind of had. And I say shift, I really am talking mostly about communication, how we communicate with each other. The fact that by and large, we communicate in a completely different way today than we did just, even 15 years ago, 20 years ago, if you want to push it just a smidge further. And so for most of you, that is a shift in your lifetime. I'm going to guess that 99% of people that are in my chat right now, anyways, over the past year, the vast majority of you are much older than that, and have experienced this shift firsthand, where we've gone from having to call somebody on in some cases a rotary phone, to this texting thing, or different social medias, or whether it be Twitter or TikTok. I don't know, whatever the latest thing is nowadays. In my suggestion in this conversation, and this is where, I'm kind of pulling you guys in and wanting to see what your viewpoints are on this, is my suggestion is that in shifting to talking with this thing, and not even as a phone, but I mean as a typing device, where we're texting and doing all this other kind of crap through Facebook and the like. It's shifted the priority away from the people that we're calling to me. Because before it took effort, right? It took effort for me to pick a phone call up, or to walk to my neighbor's house and have a conversation, or sitting down and have a meal and have a conversation. But now, because of this texting thing, it's very impersonal, very distant technology. We no longer have to make people our priority. We no longer have to go out of our way to make communication happen. Now, notice I didn't say to make communication effective, because I don't think any of this is really effective communication. It has elements of communication or effective communication, but it is not effective communication. But now, with the new technology, it's this time-saving device. And it's not about saving you time, it's about saving me time. So I think as our communication has shifted, so too has our priority. And in shifting our priority, we lose the ability, or we have lost the ability, to see into people's lives effectively and then run the interference that typically would happen back before all this technology existed. So what I mean is you would call somebody and you would have a full-on conversation, or you would go to somebody's house and you'd have a meal with them or have a conversation with them or sit on the front porch and have coffee or whatever the thing was. You would interact with that person and you would see, hey, something's not right. Hey, Susie, you're looking a little down today. Hey, did you break your arm? Holy crap, you got a cast on. I don't know if you noticed, but you can't see that in a text. We don't get the affection, the emotion, the humanness of a full-on intimate conversation. We've lost it all. Even so, it's gotten to a point now where even when we do happen to be in the same room, we don't even look at each other when we talk anymore. When we interview students, I have to physically tell them to look at me when they're talking to me. Yeah, no worry, Andy. I appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate that you're even here, bud. But the idea there is that people very often are left wanting. They're craving somebody to notice me. And so what happens, because we're so distracted, so disinterested now in this type of face-to-face conversation, that we have to go to larger and more extremes to get people to respond to us. Yeah, no, it's not. This is normal. This is my stream. What we do is we take large social issues. Could be around mental health. Could be around anything from, what do you see as what does it mean for you to keep a promise type of thing. That's the one I always talk about. I love that topic. But yeah, I don't really play games a whole lot. But yeah, so what I do, Dingle, I don't know if you understand. So your donation supports the nonprofit, and I support the nonprofit by talking about the causes that we see every day, the things that we work with every day. So the crux of the topic, are people your priority today, really centers around this idea that are we going out of our way to ensure that people get noticed? I'm just going to make myself a note here. So before I go too much further into the topic, I'm going to pull up Dono Cam, and I'm going to do your 50 push-ups here, Dingleberry, because I don't want to get too far into the topic and lose my breath having to do 50 push-ups. So give me a second. I'm going to drop the headset, and I'm going to do your 50 push-ups. Dono Cam. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time!
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. Woo! Woo! Can I breathe? Wow. Man. 50 push-ups. I'm an old man. Whew, guys are killing me. Shoes indoors. What? Shoes indoors. Not shoes physically indoors. I'm not in a house. I'm in my office. I don't take my shoes off in my office. It's a 12,000 square foot building. Thanks, man. Glad you like my boots. See, people always say to me, why don't you just do a podcast? Why has it got to be a video stream? Blah, blah, blah. Well, one, you'd never see the emotion. You wouldn't see my face. Ooh, I skipped chest yesterday too. Whew. I'm feeling it. Feels good. I love doing push-ups. What was I saying? Andy got me all off on. Oh, you wouldn't see my face. You wouldn't see the emotion. And I think doing a podcast versus a stream highlights exactly what I'm talking about. If I just did a podcast, it'd be the exact same thing as a TikTok. I don't know, TikTok. As a tweet. Or a text message. Or whatever. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. And I don't want it to be. I want it to be something more. I want it to mean something. All right. So what the heck are we talking about today? Are people your priority? One of the things I would say, one of the biggest lies of our culture today is, hey, I'm okay. I have all my stuff together. That's a lie. And you know what? It's not okay. One of the harshest criticisms anybody should ever get is when they blatantly lie about the fact that everything is good. Because the reality is it's not. But because we've lost the ability to talk to each other, we don't have the conversation. There was a time when things weren't good, you would go to your neighbor's house and you would talk to each other and you would help each other. Whether it be hey, can I borrow a cup of flour, to, hey, my wife has cancer. And we don't do that anymore. And the more we get engulfed, and we're going to have, there's a time coming, and it's evidenced. I'm telling you, I'm going to write a paper here. As soon as I get my green card and I go back to school and get my master's and my doctoral, I'm writing a master's thesis and then a doctoral, full doctor. I'm promising you, and I will publish it, and I will cite all of you. It is already being evidenced by the vast amounts of people in the chat rooms that we are all craving what is lost. Listen to me now. Dingle, you highlighted my first point already today. My first point is a servant's heart is always moved by the condition of others. And I'll tell you what I mean. When you see something that isn't right, somebody that's hurting, somebody that is stressed out, somebody that is whatever. If you've seen the iRobots movie, you know this phrase. See a need, fill a need. It's a robot movie, cartoon, kids movie. I'm not sure if it was Disney, but it was one of those guys. And in the movie, he says, see a need, fill a need. Basically, what he's saying is that I see something that isn't right, something that needs help, something that needs a gap that needs filling. And the condition of my heart, in his case, my programming, says I have to do something. But listen to me. I'm going to say a sentence, and I want you to listen closely. The condition, so now the first part of that is the servant's heart. The identifier is the servant, right? A servant's heart is always moved by the condition of others. Second half. The condition of others will always reveal the condition of my heart. Did you hear what I said? A servant's heart is always moved by the condition of others, and the condition of others will always reveal, always, not sometimes, always reveal the condition of my heart. This doesn't change. It's an always or never, and this is definitely an always. Doesn't matter my mood, doesn't matter anything. If my heart is conditioned to respond, i.e. see a need, fill a need, no matter what state I'm in, if there is a need, my desire is to fill it. I'm going to expound upon this, so stay with me. If your condition, and this is the society we're in right now, because we've been conditioned. If we're conditioned to send a text message in response to somebody saying, hey, I'm not doing well today, that's all I'm ever going to do. And here's my Christian pet peeve. I bare my heart emotionally. I'm like scarred. I'm saying, oh, guys, I need all this help. And the Christian says to me, oh, Neil, I'll pray for you. It's a cop-out. Don't get me, I'm not undermining or demeaning the value of prayer. But I'm asking you to help. You don't need to pray about that. If the condition of others is need, our response should be, let me help. Part 2. A servant's heart, the see a need, fill a need person, a servant's heart is willing to be uncomfortable for somebody. What does it mean to be uncomfortable? Dingleberry. For all I know, that could have been your last 40. That could be a very uncomfortable $40 for you to give. It may not have been. I don't want to diminish what you gave, but what I'm saying is for some people who give on Twitch to streamers, they shouldn't be giving. There are many who are giving away rent money. This is the remnant of the servant heart that is fading away because of this. We innately want to help each other at great expense. So culturally, it was the norm when a guest came to your house. So I'm going to expound upon this even further in a second, but culturally, I'm going to say in Western society, it was normal when a guest came to your house that you would give them, you would feed them before your own family. You'd feed them first. And then after they ate, you would eat whatever was left. Why is that statement important to say? Well, I'll tell you why that's important to say. Today, I'll give you an example. My son is going to Jordan in January for 3 weeks. Kind of like a cross-cultural thing he's doing with his university. These are very westernized kids. They're used to getting lots of food and lots of whatever they desire. And so they're going to go into these people's houses, and they are going to Jordanian homes, and they are going to be offered food from people. They're going to be offered gifts. Literally shirts off the back of some of these people. And the westernized kids are going to be like, yeah, this is great. Give me the food. And they'll eat it all up. And they'll clean their plate off, as we do in North America. And then the homeowner is naturally going to say, well, their plate is empty. They must still be hungry. And they're going to put more food on their plate. That is culturally normal. And then the Western kids are going, oh, this is great. And they're going to eat it all up. Well, most of these North American kids are not going to understand is that second helping was the homeowners. Culturally, Western world has lost the servant heart. Where they're going in Jordan and in other countries while they're traveling, they still have it because they haven't been immersed in this fully the way westernized societies have. And so they have this serving culture. And what these kids are literally having to be told is, hey, don't eat everything on your plate. You need to stop and leave food on your plate so they don't put more on. Because know that whatever you don't eat is what they're going to eat when you leave. And if a homeowner offers you the shirt off of their back, which is likely, or something out of their home, do not accept it. Why? Because we're so used to just, yeah, sure, I'll take it. I know you'll get another one because I'm used to having lots. But that's an example of the servant heart for them. So a servant's heart is willing to be uncomfortable for somebody else. That's an extreme example outside of the westernized world. And usually a servant heart that's willing to be uncomfortable with somebody else, that usually means that they're willing to do it at great expense. In this case, I'm talking about food and money and possessions, but it could be reputation, right? My oldest son is a great example of this, where he would, in middle school and in high school, come to the defense of the kids that were picked on at school, in the lunchroom, whatever the case was. He would step in and he would stand up for those kids who had no one to stand up for them. So he risked his reputation to stand up for those kids. And it's not surprised my wife and I that he is actually looking to go into politics. And he wants to go and advocate for folks politically. I mean, he can't serve in an elected position here in the U.S., but he wants to serve with an elected official in the U.S., which is kind of cool. We get to work with a lot of different elected officials, and it gets to be kind of fun. It's different. Not a world I know really well, but a servant heart embraces what's uncomfortable. You know, they're not afraid of getting their hands dirty. They're not afraid of being cold or wet or, going without. One of the things, because we talk a lot about this idea of the coach effect, right? This idea of trust, obedience, challenge, change, growth, leading back to trust. And a servant typically chooses obedience readily. Somebody that, as they go about their daily life, they that see a need, feel a need thing is just a natural feeling for them. They just naturally do it. And again, I want to back up to say that this is our natural predisposition. This is something that we all, 15, 20 years ago did happily. And it's gotten to be a point where people are trying to find creative ways to express it. And again, this is where I say Twitch is a phenomenon and all the live streaming stuff that came in afterwards, as a phenomenon, has come into being. And we saw this. We're seeing this a lot in the podcast world as well, because podcasts has just exploded. So it started off as initially as a cool information source, but as it becomes more interactive, which again, I want you to look around. All of these services, YouTube, Twitch, the new stuff, I won't even talk about, what Shroud and Ninja and all those guys went to, the Microsoft stuff. If you look at those platforms, they seek out ways, creative ways for you to be interactive, to get your audience pulled into the conversation. That's why video is so important. That's why this is so critical. That's why bits are so critical. That's why the ability to chat and emotes are so critical. That's why, the ability to have your name up at the top of the screen saying latest follower, latest subscriber, latest donor, latest whatever, the leaderboard for gifting subs. Again, think about what's actually happening, the social aspect of what's happening. Every time you do that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's
heck,
great.
10 months.
Everything is awesome.
10 months of lifting you would have, buddy. 10 months is a solid giver. Thank you for sticking around there, Mr. Soggy Waffles. Appreciate you, buddy. This is the idea that we all have this priority in us naturally. The question is, do we act on it appropriately? Right? The harshest criticism goes to those who act like they have it all together. It's one thing, and I'll use Nappy as an example, because him and I have been chatting a lot lately, this whole resume thing, him wanting to get into the nonprofit world, huge sacrifice on his part, quitting his regular secular job and in wanting to move into this nonprofit world. It's one thing, any one of us, because you say, yeah, good luck, buddy. Hey, even from my standpoint. I know, I told him already, move out this way. I'm actually hiring 2 positions right now. Like, come on. Same with Morgme. I keep telling her, just tell me where you live already. I'll go plant a Rise Above in your town. I'm not putting one in Alaska just because. But the idea there is that I could have easily just said to Nappy, yeah, that's great, buddy. I'm praying for you. Or, hey, I hope everything works out. Good luck. Here, I'll gift you 10 subs to your stream. Good luck. But the real value is there when he says, hey, Neil, would you be willing to look at my resume? Because this is the thing that we're doing right now. We're doing the whole resume thing. That's the interaction. Yeah, and I'll give you honest feedback. Yeah, here, this is what we can do. This is whatever. This is why it's good. This is why it needs to be reworked, or whatever the case is. This is how I would see it if I was on your side, or if I was on my side looking at a resume. We don't do that for each other anymore. We're doing it a lot less. I won't say we don't. It's becoming harder and harder to find people that are willing to step into that. So one of the things that is really hard for me to say, because a big part of my job is fundraising, is this idea of, as Dingleberry so eloquently demonstrated earlier, is, our organization thrives because of amazing people like Dingleberry who want to make sure that we have money for our breakfast program, or for our field trips and day-to-day operations and all that kind of jazz. But one of the things I always tell donors, now this is different. A donation here is very different than a donor in my town. I always tell people, these kids don't want your money. We need it, but they the kids, the students that we work with, that we're in deep relationship with, they don't want your money. They never ask me about the money. When they see a new face walk through, a donor or a friend or whoever is visiting, the question I get from them isn't, oh, how much money did they give? Hey, Nappy, what's up, buddy? I was just talking about you. How awesome you are. They don't ask, oh, how much did Nappy give today? Or whatever the case is. The question they ask is, who is that? What does he do? Why is he here? And that's the critical question. Nappy, listen for these questions when you get into the world of the nonprofits later on, depending on who you serve. Listen to the questions that they ask about the people that you bring in. That one question is critical. Why are they here? As soon as I hear that question, I get to tell them it's because they made you a priority. My guest is here today because they made you, Eddie or whoever it is, a priority. I never talk about the money. I don't talk about it. Why? They don't ask. They don't care about the money. They want to know that you are there for them. This gets right to what I'm talking about. I already got a room prepared for Nappy. It's a nice 20 by 20. I just got to furnish it. You got to tell me what color sheets you want on the bed. I'm literally hiring 2 people. I have a full studio, Nappy. Play any game you want. These kids want to know that you're there for them. But that, listen to me, that is the condition of everyone's heart. That's the thought that we all have. I want to know that you are 100% sold out for me, that you're here for me. You want to make me feel like I'm on top of the moon? Make me your priority. If you're married, got a girlfriend, whatever the case is, boyfriend, wife, husband, significant other, whatever you want to call them, want to have the best relationship possible, make them your priority. Give them your first fruits, as we would say. Listen to me now. This is critical because it'll highlight. Look, I just got a massive text from somebody. Look at the size of this thing, and it's telling me about this. Hey, I want to get together. Simple touch, and I don't mean necessarily even physically. I'm not talking about the touching, right? This interaction, simple communication. But face-to-face communication, not over the phone. Over the phone's half of it, but this digital stuff. Simple touch done in the context of love. In other words, putting you first priority, because that's what love is, right?
Oh my God, we're the
Done
luckiest.
over time.
I am.
Dingle, what are you doing?
I am the
Dude.
luckiest.
Thank you very much. I'm here for you, Mr. Poggy Waffles. You still trying to convince Nappy? Seriously, Dingo, I appreciate that, buddy. That is, think about that now. So that's 2 weeks of our breakfast program fully funded. I don't know. So, guys, I hope you understand what we're talking about here. So, Dingleberry amazingly has donated $20 just now. And that $20 for our entire program fully funds breakfast for several days. So in the context of what has happened so far, the stream, over 2 weeks has been fully funded of breakfast. That's amazing. It doesn't take huge sums to do this work. Soph, what's up, buddy? Simple touches. And sitting for breakfast. And Dingle, so breakfast is the most important meal of the day, not because of the fact that it fills your belly, because it makes people sit down and be in community. This, again, this was the point I was going to make. And I owe you 25 more push-ups. Simple touch done in the context of love over time have the biggest changes. How we affect change on these kids as we sit face to face with them and have these serious, in-depth, how are you type conversations. You know, as a pastor, the scripture tells us how Jesus said, no greater love is anyone than one who sets down his life for another. The idea there is that you are going to in depth, like I'm going to sacrifice, going back to this idea of a servant's heart, being willing to be uncomfortable for each other at great expense. That's why I said I'd be using scripture a little bit, you know, because it's I couldn't articulate it better today myself. But the idea there is that being able to get into and get deep with these kids and sit down at breakfast. Oh.
Everything's great. Everything
You're killing me. I got to do 50
awesome.
more push-ups. That's 100 for today so far. I skipped chest and arms yesterday. You guys are killing me.
Okay.
Who got subs? HP?
Everything's great.
Mrs. H. Oh,
Everything
HP. That's HB's,
is
Mrs.
awesome.
H's husband. Nice. Seahorse got one. Oh, Seahorse is my old friend. The Cloud, yeah, he got an old friend too. Same with Noopy.
Okay.
These are all good people.
Everything's great. Everything
Good gift of
is
subs.
awesome.
Mr. Soggy Waffles. And I refuse to call you Poggy, by the way. But the idea of sitting down with somebody and breaking bread.
Okay.
In giving the
Everything's
chance just to
great.
talk about, hey, what happened
Everything
yesterday?
is awesome.
To have a chance to just say, hey, you know what? Hey, I see the cast on your arm. Or, hey, I noticed that you got a black eye.
Everything's great. Everything is awesome.
It changes things, right? Because it gives you an opportunity to then dive deeper, to get deeper. So I'm going to get to another half of this. I'm going to go do my 50 push-ups. And then we're going to dive a little bit deeper. Because there's another half of this that we got to get to still. 50 more push-ups. You guys are killing me. You know that, right? I might break this one in half. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. We'll do 10, take a break. Do 10, take a break. Do 10, take a break. Old man. Probably not. I'll do 50 straight. Am I drinking Monster? No. I'm a Coca-Cola guy. So I don't drink that crap. I drink, can I say, Full Throttle. And I'm not sponsored by Coke, but I love my Coca-Cola. Full Throttle, my dude. Full Throttle is my favorite. Okay, 50 push-ups. Don't know Cam. Get ready for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time!
My gosh, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, even left my headphones on for you guys. It's 100 push-ups.
Oh my
Half
God, we're
push-ups.
the
I will
luckiest.
fight you right now.
I am.
Nappy, are you freaking kidding me right now,
am
guy?
The luckiest.
Holy sh... Dude. Dude! Dude! Nappy. Holy crap, guy. That is huge. Thank you very much. That is exceptional, Nappy. I appreciate you, brother. And I think about all the things. I'm still trying to catch my breath. I think about everything that you're about to do, bud. The huge step that you're making from this, trap of a business world, the kind of what I would call the American dream, to being intentional, where you're actually going to do exactly what I'm talking about, this idea of putting people before yourself, making others a priority is beyond noble. My brother-in-law said it best when we made the transition from Canada to here to go to school and then ultimately to do the work here at Rise Above. Said, we, in his words, you sacrificed the American dream for what? And when we said, what do you mean for what? You hold up a picture of one of these kids and you go, that's for what? And there's an obvious answer to this, So Nappy, in the context of your gift, you're about to do amazing things, brother. You're about to step into a space where, if you thought any element of your job before was satisfying, you're literally one handshake away from a tearful response of thank you to one of the myriad of people that whose lives you're about to make a huge priority when others wouldn't. So thank you for being willing to do that work, buddy. And can't wait. Nappy, thank you very much. That is a very generous donation, and one that I can assure you will get put to a phenomenal use. Between yourself and Dingleberry, that is a lot of freaking breakfast. I think, Nappy, if you're okay with it, buddy, I'm going to put that towards a field trip for the kids. I'm going to go put some smiles on some kids' faces and say, hey, let's go play some laser tag or something. So, love you guys. Appreciate it. And now we weigh 25 push-ups too. Let me catch my breath first.
Oh my God, we're the luckiest.
Dingle.
I am.
You guys do know that I have a dono cam and I
am
have to do
the
it.
luckiest.
I love it. You guys are amazing. Dingleberry, thank you very much, brother. I can't wait to tell my staff. They're going to laugh so hard. Some of them may be watching this now and already laughing at me. Cellular Bear one day said to me that one stream he was going to come in here and donate like 5,000 bits because I think the marker is like 500 or something like that for the 20 push-ups. And he said he's just going to do them one set at a time, just over and over and over again. So I had to do like 1 million push-ups in one stream. But Nappy loves breakfast, I'm sure, because I know I love breakfast. Thank you very much, Dingleberry. Appreciate you, brother. Today's been an exceptional day for the donos, and I appreciate it.
Oh my God, we're the luckiest.
What are you guys doing that?
I am.
Okay, so I'm going to do the 25
the
push-ups now.
luckiest.
Because if I have to do 75 in a row later, especially when I've got Solf, who's complaining about 4 inches. What do you know, my wife? Complaining about... Anyways. So I'll do the 25 push-ups now. And that Soggy, keep your comments to yourself. I'll do 25 now. Wait a couple minutes. I'll do 25 more. Don't. And somebody let me know. Can you hear the "Let's Get Ready to Rumble"? It's time. Can you guys hear that when I switch over to Dono Cam? I knew Nappy would say, or not Nappy, Soggy would say something after a while. Oh, awesome. Okay, good. Okay, Dono Cam, 25 more push-ups. And then I'll do some more in a second. One sec.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time!
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Woo! And Soph, by the way, Soph, are you there? Are you, huh? For the record, that whole 4 inches doesn't go down all the way comment you made, yeah, that's because these get in the way. I can't go down much farther than that, buddy. Just saying. There's a certain flex point that kind of stops me. You wouldn't understand. It's not, it's not a problem most of us have. So I owe you guys 50 more push-ups still. Man, I'm sweating. Holy crap. Whew. Wait a second. I gotta. There. Oh, just get a little flex in there. But selflessness. So in the context of the theme, we talk about this idea of. So the scripture, one of the scriptures I was going to focus on today is this idea. It's in Luke 10. I don't know if some of you, I know Nappy, you're familiar with scripture. It's this idea of the Good Samaritan. When are we good to each other? Like when are we not good and when are we good to each other? And somebody actually asks this question. This idea of what am I going to do to be considered a good person? Or in this case, he's asking weird flex. Yeah, it was a bit of a weird flex. Dingleberry, what's that? All right. And here I am with my noodle arms pushing off my push-ups. He asked the question, how do I get eternal life? In other words, how do I get into heaven? And so he asks, it's in Scripture. He's told, well, it's in Scripture, and how do you read it? So the guy says, first I got to love God, and then he says, I have to love my neighbor the way I love myself. You've all heard that statement before. You treat others as you want to be treated yourself, and it's not an uncommon thing. North American, I think even worldwide. I think that's a fairly westernized statement. And I know that in a lot of Arab countries, that's a very common statement as well, having traveled to a couple different Arab countries. So this idea of treating others the way we want to be treated, this idea of not necessarily fairness, but being willing to walk in each other's shoes and bear each other's burdens and those sorts of things. It's not an uncommon thing. So what this particular scripture ends up going on to saying is this wise guy that asks the question about how do I be considered a good person, is told to go and treat others the way he wants to be treated. But it goes one step further, because that can be a weird. People can abuse it. Because it's easy to like people that are like you. It's easy to help people that you like being around. Right? So if I want to help, I talk about OG Pickle at least once a stream, so maybe this is where I'll throw OG in. So if I like OG Pickle, which I kind of do a little bit, whatever. He's got nice glasses, so I'll give him that. If I help OG Pickle, that's easy. It's almost expected. Of course, I like the guy. We're friends. I'm sure you are. You always are. I won't say what you are. I love you, brother. In other words, it's easy to help those who we like. It's different when I don't like you. It's different when I consider you my enemy. And that's going to be a whole stream unto itself. This idea of the concept of enemy. The people we consider our enemies. Because I think you'll be surprised by my response. I will make you think. I hope. Maybe next week. But it's easy when I say, okay, Soggy Waffles, I love that guy. It's hilarious. I love watching his streams. I love picking on his friends, all that kind of stuff. It's easy for me to be generous to Soggy. Love. It's another thing entirely different when him and I don't get along. Yes, it is where the Good Samaritan comes in. Because in that case, he didn't even have a relationship with the guy Nappy. He was just passing by and saw a need, so he filled a need. Where everybody else had walked by because of some rule or law or desire. Again, I go back to that statement that I made earlier, right? The condition of others will always reveal the condition of our own heart, right? So if I'm willing to walk by somebody who needs my help, right, it really demonstrates where I'm at socially. But the idea here is that a real demonstration of how uncomfortable we're willing to be is shown when I go into somebody's life who is genuinely difficult. Not to out there, but to hear. And I don't know if some of you were here right at the beginning of my stream, but I had a late start. I actually went live. Hey, what's up, OG? Just talking about you, buddy. I think Soggy Waffles has a clip he wants to share with you. What did I say? Yeah, I know. I probably said something I shouldn't have. But it was good. I was talking about how much I love you, brother. But it was one of those things where, I went to go live and then something happened with a student here where it's a difficult student. A kid that needs a lot of intervention, a lot of help. And, you can't just walk on the other side of the street and go around this guy. You've got to intervene. Yeah, more than once, I'm sure. Just for the record, OG, I've already done 125 push-ups on this stream already. Between Nappy and Dingleberry, I'm going to be the buffest dude on Twitch. Well, I'd even go one step further and say I'm already, but I'm going to be even more. Yeah, well, because I've done 125 freaking push-ups, and I got 50 more to do still. So, when you were in Toronto with Cell on my way home, I passed a busy corner. I hope I was sleeping on the corner right on a blanket. Yeah. And I'll tell you a quick story on that, Nappy. Very relevant story. Just this past weekend, a pastor friend of mine. Those people who stand on the side corner saying, hey, my house burnt down, got nowhere to live. And sometimes you think it's fake and you're just not sure, right? Because you see the same guy, same corner for months on end. Good friend of mine, Jason, who really helped plant the seeds for today's stream, talked about how he approached one of these guys standing with a sign on the side of the road and literally stopped traffic, put his truck in park and got out and said, hey, dude, middle of winter time, because it's like a foot of snow outside right now here in Michigan. Says, dude, you need a blanket and all this kind of stuff. And the guy says, yeah, I'd love a blanket. And say, I can go to the coffee shop, grab your coffee, whatever you got to do. And as he was leaving, he turned to the guy and said, oh, he said, what's your name? The guy says, oh, my name's Carl. Okay, Carl, no problem, but give me a second, dude. I'll be right back. I'll grab your thing. And as Jason turned around and get back in his truck, Carl stops him and literally grabs him by the shoulder and says, hang on a second. And Jason's like, because now everyone's honking at him saying, kind of let's go, kind of go because the light's green. And the guy stops him and says, hey, no one's ever asked me my name before. Think about that. The guy is there. I'm sure hundreds of people have given this guy money. Dozens of people have probably helped him in some other way, form, or fashion. The fact that Jay was the first one to say, hey, what's your name, is crazy. That whole concept is the same as this. Everyone's willing to send a quick little Twitter or a text and say, hey, dude, hey, praying for you. Hey, I hope you're okay, blah, blah, blah. But no one's really interested in getting intimately involved. Because if I know your name, I have different responsibility than if I just say, here's coffee. Let go and run away. Yeah, the same thing happened to you, Pickle? What do you mean? Yeah, Nappy, they're just because they're faceless, nameless people that I can just, because I don't know your name, I can afford to just look forward. Whether it's not passing judgment, whether it's real or not, the reason they're standing on the corner, the fact is they are. And the question begs to be answered, why? And the only way you're going to solve that problem is by becoming aware and involved. Pickle, you bought him some water? That's why I started writing. Yeah, that's huge, man. I have said it a dozen or more times personally to people. Dude, I have your letter framed in my office because I think that is amazing. I love that element of what you do because your stream is you're one persona on stream, but it's you, and then when you write that letter, it really makes it real. You're not just a persona. Now you're actually a dude that gives Yeah. You ask somebody's name, it changes everything. Because you're diving deep at that point. In Nappy, I go back to what you said. It is so easy to not see these people. It's so easy just to, and that's why people said when we started Rise Above over and over and over, people said, Neil, it's impossible. You can't do it. It's impossible. Because the reason why they thought it was impossible is because they weren't invested. They didn't know the kids' names. They didn't know the real reasons of what was going on. They were afraid of getting their hands dirty. Because I'm telling you, as soon as you get your hands dirty and you know that kid's name, you can't help but want to make it work. As soon as you know the name, the words you can't do it won't come out of your mouth. It will break your heart to say it. And therein lies the why this is a tragedy. I mean, it has a purpose. Don't get me wrong. But from a social standpoint, that's why your letters, Pickle, are so important. Yeah, and Nappy, there's a huge, that in itself is a big deal because we get asked all the time to make Rise Above something bigger than what it is currently. And I say it's impractical. It's possible, but it's impractical. The reason is because we could go bigger. We could do this with more kids. But we could not have the depth of relationship that we desire if we went bigger. Now, I could add more classrooms and I could keep them small and add more teachers. That's a real possibility, and we're doing that work. But they want us to physically add more kids to the classrooms, and that's not what we want to do. No, Pickle, I would say, don't say thank you to me, man. We appreciate it. Pickle, we thank you and we appreciate your willingness to do what nobody else is doing in this world. You know, and I say this world, I mean the Twitch world. Right? I make a joke of the fact that I sent out stickers to like a dozen people, and I didn't send I didn't write a single thing and I thought to myself afterwards, I missed a perfect opportunity to send all these personal letters to people. Say thank you for supporting the stream, and I just sent them some stickers. Good job, Fernandez. What's that, Nappy? I know that sounds contradictory with what I'm... No, I don't think it does. I don't think it does, Nappy. Because change your thought process on saving the world. Nappy, listen to me for a second. When you say, I think you also have to realize you can't save the world, you're thinking of a globe. Change your perception. When you're not changing the globe, you are changing a person's world. You're not saving the globe. You're saving a world, an individual's world. It's different. Go from macro to micro. Go small. You're thinking here. Zoom it right in. And I'm telling you, brother, every day you will save the world. You absolutely can save the world. Yep. And I agree with you, Soggy. Something small to one person is huge to another. Again, it's this culture of waste that we have. Because you're right. And that was the whole thought behind part of the thought behind people saying you can't do it. You just can't do that. No one will support it. Nobody, because they were thinking way too big. They're thinking hundreds of thousands, or hundreds and thousands of kids instead of thinking one at a time. You have to think one at a time. It might turn into dozens and dozens or hundreds, but your initial desire is for one. Right? That the least of these be served. And the least of these is a single point. Right? Case in point, I was friends with someone who was an addict and put the rehab through. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with cutting ties. So you can help your enemy with healthy boundaries. And sometimes helping your enemy means distancing yourself. Right? And if anyone's looking for donations to the stream, Full Throttle, Coca-Cola. Next sponsor, maybe. Come on, Coca-Cola. I worked for Coke for 5 years. Yeah, dude, I've tried to keep myself grounded as much as I can. I know it changed the streaming. Yeah. Think differently, man, and you do it every day. I love it. I love the clips. The clips. I love them all. And Nappy, what I would say about the pain that you caused her that helped figure some stuff out for her. Again, you have personalities, you have love language, you have all that stuff involved, and some people require a different approach. Some people require a different tactic to get to a place where they can kind of hit rock bottom. And some people need to hit rock bottom before, personality-wise, before they'll bring about change or even think about change. So, in your opinion, what's this, Soggy? In your opinion, you already saved the day for people. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the fact that we get to, in Poggy, just to your point about Nappy, about his stream, your channel, help people decompress and enjoy your company. Just the fact that they can even just have a nap together, the fact that they can come in, check in, just have a quick little 50-minute little sleep, do that with Nappy and kind of just check out for a minute. I think that's huge. I think I've started to think about doing that myself, just checking out once a day with Nappy and grabbing a quick little nap. Oh, wait, I've been waiting. I've been thinking about it all day, how the hell I was going to work that in there. Oh, I love it. That was perfect. Oh, that was perfect. Love you, Nappy. Oh, that was classic. Dude, you weren't sleeping. I know you weren't sleeping. I'm totally with you. He was sleeping. Oh, that was so good. Whew. Okay. People write letters. Meanwhile, I can't even read now. My eyes are watering. Oh, crap. Now I need my glasses. Oh, people write letters. Okay. Just napping. We totally got to get a napping emote now. Cancel the PayPal transaction. We're out. Back away slowly, people. I love it. I absolutely love it. But again, and this is part of why I want to write this paper, because there is something fundamentally missing in our social circles. Right? And OG, I mean, you're a social dude. Like, you're out all the time. You're doing hot shit. You're doing, I love the fact that you're having barbecue sauces coming out. And I'm telling you, you'll sell a ton of barbecue sauce. Why? Because you have people absolutely sold. They've bought in. They're gonna eat the Jello. Gonna drink the Kool-Aid because people believe. When is pickle stock coming? It's called Heinz. That's what we gotta. OG Pickle, I'm telling you, man, you gotta contact Heinz. You gotta get like Vlasic or one of those companies that the pickle people. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. Because you're like kind of a big shot now. So are people your priority? Do we get into a spot where we are willing to interrupt? My eyes are still watering. Where we're willing to interrupt our day to make that happen. So I'm gonna do these other 50 push-ups now before I forget. I want to honor Dono Cam. I'm gonna sweat like a pig when I get back up, but that's all right. I'm gonna take my headphones off this time. They added 2.5 pounds of headgear. It's not helpful to my push-up status. So Dono Cam, let's get ready to rumble. It's time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wah! Piece of cake. Whew. Well, Self, do you approve? What'd you say earlier, Self? People write letters meanwhile I send money. Should I feel ashamed? Thanks, buddy. That wasn't 25. That's 50. Thank God for the full throttle today. Woo! We're needing it. This old guy is, gosh, dinnily exhausted. I think I might skip the gym today. So, fun fact, yeah. Do tell. Oh, when do I get my pickle or Choco Taco Toque? When do they go live? I want to know that. There's a fun fact for you. Oh, yeah, Bang Energy. Yeah, that's a pre-workout exercise drink. I think Pickles had that Bang stuff before. I forget which flavor is my favorite, though. Risk Immerse, just so you know, I'm here because I've seen my son. What? Dingle, Solf's your son? Are you joking with me? I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, actually, Pickle, I did know that. Yep. Michael and Bruce Buffer. That is crazy, though, eh? It's complicated. Well, it's a complication I'm willing to absorb and to be a part of. Solf has been a great supporter for a long time and somebody I love seeing in various streams as we go. So, appreciate yourself. If I drink energy, it's gonna be a bang. Yeah, I like the bang. It's got a lot of different stuff in it that's good. What a day. I wore a sweater today. I don't know why I wore a sweater today. I should know better than to wear a sweater when I stream. So, Pickle, when do the Choco Taco Tukes that you demonstrated so beautifully yesterday come out? Yeah, no sugar. That's huge for me. Big problem for, like, this stuff here has a ton of sugar in it. Yeah, 29 grams, almost as much as a regular Coca-Cola would have. But, pardon me. I know, pardon me. One of the things that kind of plagues the making people your priority whole thing, and I'll close the concept or the idea of this with this thought, is that making people your priority can be very frustrating. It can be painful. I don't know how else to say it. There are times when, you know, I'll speak personally. That I don't say you want to quit, but you definitely are like angry. Like, what the heck am I doing? Why? Because people are people, right? They get in the way of. Yeah, I agree with you. Now it can be terrifying because you have to be savvy. You have to be aware of people trying to take advantage. But you can't let that thought be a motivator or a demotivator. Because if you lead with, am I being taken advantage of, you'll never do anything. You'll just be too afraid of being taken all the time. So you'll never accomplish your mission. But if you start with noticing people, the more intentional you are, the more personal you are, the more intimate you become with them, i.e., knowing their name, knowing their genuine and actual hurts, understanding their love language and their personality. And you'll hear me talk about those two things all the time because it's critical. It is that important to doing this well. The more you do that, the better you are at it, the more intentional and honest you are, not fake. Especially with kids, you can't be fake with kids. The less willing the vast majority of people will be to try and take advantage of you. That doesn't mean that they never will, but they'll be less likely because they feel that you're invested. And just like you don't want to hurt the people that you love. It's the same for them. They don't. Once you're invested and you build a rapport, a relationship with them, they're less likely to take from you or to try and hurt you. As a matter of fact, we see this a lot here, where where students will actually come to our defense when a new student tries to push the bounds. And explain, Nappy, I'm okay with people disagreeing. I actually want to know why you disagree, though. Because I would differentiate, Nappy, as you articulate that thought, the difference between family and acquaintance. So a rise above, for example, versus my home. So at home, my kids might be more ready and willing to take advantage of my generosity and my love more than the same students who are at Rise Above. I think letting people in sometimes leads them to realizing that they can try to take advantage of you. And again, there is definitely a percentage of people, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that all the time. So I agree with you, Nappy, 100%. There is a personality that will always try and take advantage of a giver. Or I shouldn't say always. They're more prone to take advantage of a giver. And then there are people who are socially predispositioned, i.e. they have a disorder or some other thing whereby they have a what do you call it? Almost like a klepto type personality, in the sense that they're predispositioned just to take everything they can to hoard. And so the perception is that they're taking advantage, when in fact it's just a personality that says, I need to collect things. So, but yeah, Nappy, I agree with you 100%. It really is dependent. The end point of that is be savvy. As you step into a world where you're going to be generous, whether it be with your reputation, your time, your resources, your finances, your influence, which is one that we use a lot here at Rise Above, is we use our influence to help students. Know that some people will try and take advantage, regardless of your sincerity or savviness. So, and like I said, I think at some point, I'm hoping in the next 6 months or so to hopefully have my green card sorted out and get on this master's and doctoral train real quick. Example, when I was volunteering at the soup kitchen after a few weeks, there's a baby shower for a woman that comes in all the time. Oh, nice. Explain. Do tell. I wish, Andy. Like, literally, I've spent thousands and thousands. Hey, what's up, Albert? On trying to get this green card, and I actually had a federally elected official, state rep for congressman here in Michigan, write me a letter of reference trying to expedite my green card process, and denied. They said, nope, I don't care who's asking, we're not expediting it. She came up to me and said the leader of the kitchen told her I would give her a ride home because I had a truck and she had gotten so many things. So I said, sure. Yeesh. We have a policy of the whole guy, girl giving rides thing here. Even though we have tons of insurance to cover that stuff, it's just careful. And Andy, what do you want a green card for? You're not leaving England. You want to come and live in Ohio with the OG? What you up to today, Albert? You missed all the push-ups earlier. We were like just hammering them out. I think we did 200 so far today. Believe that? No, 200? Did we do 150? Shula Vista. Oh, it'd be cool to go work over there again. Highlighting the word again. What do you mean, Andy? You worked here before? Something told me to ask the woman in charge.